happy. And I feel like I've got a lot of little curly cues going on in my hair today, so hopefully that calms down a bit. One hair product I have been liking a lot though. So as one of the final steps of doing my hair, I usually try to in it. And the product that I've used for years, no matter what my hair length or, has been this bedhead manipulator. And you just use a tiny bit. It actually has those fibers and you can like clap them out. So that's nice, but I found this product, and I think it works better on my thinner hair, and it looks like I am low on it. But it is called Bedhead Joyride Texturizing Powder Balm. And even mix some like powder in with it, that even helps it even more. But it offers that separate texturizing without being so heavy. So I do like that product as well. Boy, I'm not feeling so, but we'll let it calm down and see what happens. So we're going to use the LORAC Pro 4 today. I've been wanting to pull this out, and we're going to do that. So I think I'm going to start with in the pinkier tones, because that's what I love this palette for. I'll try Pecan in the crease, and the brush will pick up quite a bit. So we'll use Pecan, and I'm kind of in the true crease right here, and just blending up and out. I am blending out on, to the outer edge of my brow bone, and that just blends beautifully. And this shade Pecan is the third one over on the top. True crease again, really kind of far out to that outer corner, and it's more in the tan family, but it's got a bit of pink to it, and we'll use some more pink maybe as well. After that, I always use my Veramone color switch and just run my brush through it. I usually only use this for eye brushes because it works very well in like these dual textured type brushes at all. One color that I haven't used on the lid yet is Soft Lightest Pink, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to start at the inner corner and see what I think, because I can always bring some color out. That's very pretty, but I'm going to keep it there, I think, instead of using it on the whole lid. Just use it on that inner corner. We'll overlap. And I think I'm going to use, even though it's not super pink, Silver Mauve next, because I don't think I've used that color either. And that's got a little bit of a taupey tone to it, which I have totally been into lately. Anybody else into taupes? I think they're really bringing them in the palettes lately. And grays and then taupes were really a comfort zone for me for such a long time. And okay, so fun fact, I would say the very first YouTube I started watching was Emily Noel, and when she had her beauty broadcast live, I watched, I would say, all of those. And Kristen Gain used to pop in, and they were really good friends. And then I started watching Kristen Gain. Of course, I had found some other people in between there. And then I'm going to go into Merlot, and even though it's not necessarily an outer corner color, it's still got that pearl finish to it. We're going to try that. But Kristen was, a huge taupe fan, And, you know, I was always like, why don't you get out of your comfort zone? Especially after watching Emily, because when I first watched Emily, I went back on her videos, and, you know, she did like green and blues and purples, and, you know, she really made colors, I feel like, look modern in a time when they weren't. A lot of people were just using browns. And so when I first started watching Kristen, she was into taupes, which I had just recently been into myself, but I was like, oh, wish she'd, you know, go out of her comfort zone. Well, I think taupes, and I've always felt this way, really do suit a lot of people, because they're, you know, it's a combination color. Sometimes you can get taupes that lean more purple, and I don't know, it's just something that I've always really liked. I think they're very flattering. Like, if this might seem like a strange example, but if you were to pick a bridesmaid color for your dresses, you know, for your bridesmaids, you're probably going to want to go with a more neutral color rather than a cool or warm color. And I remember my one cousin's wife, she loved pink. Now, she wasn't necessarily a girly girl, but pink was her favorite color. It was always on her nails, always on her lips. Everyone knew she loved pink. I might not know someone else's favorite color, but I knew hers. So when she got married, you know, there was a little bit of like, ew, is she gonna have pink bridesmaid dresses? But she actually, I think, thought of her bridesmaids and went towards, I think she had turquoise, and that was a much more neutrally flattering color, I think, to a lot of people than pink would have been. And maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe she had pink flowers or something. So I'm just going to add a little bit more definition. I did actually go into the rosebud shade to blend things out. And now I'm going back in for a little bit more sharpness, a little bit more definition in that outer corner. That maybe I blended away a little bit. So that rosebud shade actually really plays off the taupey shade of the silver mauve as well. And before I clean up any of this, I am going to go on my lower lash line. I love this little brush. It was a dual-ended from Tarte. The other end broke off. It's fine. It's fine. But I love this little smudger. Oh. Woo. That is... all the, you know, and this tiny brush, all the satinness of the shade is really coming out. And I'm gonna have to fix up something there. Fix up something. So we'll try to go, you know, we'll try to match it up even though it's not perfect. And this kind of brush, because I'm sure there's something else out there like this, can really work well, because you can use it on the side, you can use it, you know, on the tip, you can use it a few different ways to get a few different looks, even though there's not a whole lot of bristles there. Alright guys, well, I'm going to continue, before I fix up. I'm going to take the black currant shade, and I am going to use that on the upper lash line, and that's the deep plummy shade. Try to give myself some light here. Excuse me, but I will need a little bit of light to do this. But that taupe and pearly pink shade really did blend together seamlessly. So not too much is going on here right now. Puppy's getting huge. Puppy doesn't come down here or I probably wouldn't have anything. So at some point if I do a candle haul or something, like candle day or something like that, I will show you Puppy. Alright. So I've showed this before, but not everybody watches my videos. So one of my tips and tricks is just to get this wipey and just kind of pull it over. That really gives you a nice line here. It cleans up underneath. It cleans up fallout. And a lot of times will do the trick, you know. Cleans up mistakes. So I'm going to look at this a little bit closer. And that actually basically did it. Alright. We might use that one more time, but so what brush do I want? This is a nice little brush from Morphe. But I need a really, really light color. I'm going to actually take Brulee, which we know is going to be just a cream color, and just run that in under my lower lash line. It is a matte finish. It's the second deepest shade in this palette. And even though I still like my Laura Geller the best, I am going to apply a little bit of the Chantilly shade just under the brow. And it's probably not going to stay there, but we'll finish that off. Because I think a lot of times I don't finish it off. And then I end up being on camera or something to finish it. Guys, I don't even remember if I finished my liner on my left eye. So I assume a lot of people who are watching these videos are around my age. And I'm wondering if you could tell me, do you experience, or anybody really of any age, because I know I actually work with a guy who's much younger than me, and he has a problem too, but he's a guy. Watery eyes. Anybody have watery eyes? What do you do about them? How do you wear your makeup? Because at the end of the day, not only is my left eye watery, it is also more hooded. So my eyeshadow on my right eye looks great at the end of the day. My eyeshadow on my left eye does not. And I've been able to fix it so that my right eye looks good at least. And I have not been able to fix it so that my left eye looks good. So if you have any tips and tricks on that, I had asked someone one time on a video, and she said some people use 2 primers. I actually have 2 primers open, but I've never really done that. I've tried my primer both not set, like I've always done, and set with powder, which I've been doing for the last year or so. And the powder does help a little bit. So that's kind of what I've continued with. I think it really does help. So I'm just going to use some Smashbox primer water, which I use every day, all day. And I am going to use both my Tarte mascara and my Lancome primer, because I think this Lancome primer is also helpful. And I'm just going to set this down. So my favorite thing to do with my lash curler is actually to warm it up by like a light bulb. But the light bulbs that I currently have in my lamp are not like heating type light bulbs, so they won't help. But I really do think that helps. If you have a blow dryer too, just make sure it's not hot, because who wants to burn their eyelid, of course. So another thing, and I think I'm like a complete minority weirdo, is that I've never really enjoyed mascara. I see the point in it. I get it. But I don't, and I have okay lashes. I don't have great lashes. But I really don't like to explore with mascara because it usually doesn't turn out well. Sometimes if I have one, I'll use it, but I'm never as happy as I am with the Tarte. One mascara I don't think I've ever tried is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Everyone's always like, oh, I have so many samples of that. Never got a sample of that. Don't really care, but I've been told that it's really great, and I've also been told it flakes. If it flakes, I don't like that type of mascara, and I would assume that it's gonna flake on me. So again, I'd probably use it. But I'm not really thinking I'd like it. I hear a lot of people say they like the A Cosmetic Superhero. I have had many of those. I don't like it at all. So here are my lashes, you guys. And of course I got a mascara smudge because I always do lately. Anyone else? So I really like this eye look though. I think it's very pretty. Pretty sure I have a lot of little tips and tricks that I do all the time, and since I do lives, I feel like I could share them with you. I always keep I have to bend down again, a little bottle of alcohol, just the cheap stuff, in the drawer next to me. And as soon as I'm done with my eyelash curler, I wipe it down with a Q-tip. I just dip it in and clean off that eyelash curler, because I think that's important to keep clean. I always have. I feel like I'm a little patchy right here. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to touch up this black currant color, which I want to call Plum, in the outer corner. Sometimes that, well, I don't know. I think a lot of people have problems with the outer corner blending. With our better brushes now and higher quality shadows too, I think that's less of a problem. But then as you get older, maybe it becomes more of a problem. And a little bit of Merlot over that. Is that what color I started with? That's a gorgeous color. So I've been watching a few videos on the Natasha Denona, I believe, Cranberry palette, that 5PM palette. And a lot of people aren't very happy with it. They said a lot of those shades that are like Merlot and Blackcurrant in the palette really are more red and bright pink on the eyes. It has a couple great shimmer shades, but yeah, it's a little bit of a crazier look actually than it looks in the palette. Just brighter, nothing to kind of, what's that word, anchor it. I'm going to use the Becca Backlight priming filter. Love this. I've been using this, and I'll show you. This. For some reason, I've been pumping 2 pumps, and it's been too much. I think 1 pump will work. All right, and then my foundation, a recent video might have had this foundation in it, but the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. Been enjoying this. Sometimes when I put it on, I don't feel like it really meshes with my skin well, but then later in the day, it really lasts well. It looks good. So the only problem is these little pumps and droppers. I don't get a lot out of them. And I'm sure I posted a video on this before, but this is a pretty dark shade for a shade called Fair. But again, I think it looks okay on my skin. So yeah, for some reason I don't feel like it meshes in very well. But then, I don't know, I look at it at the end of the day and it looks fine. And I don't know, I like it. I haven't really had to worry about it. So I'm happy with that. Wonder if it comes in a lighter shade. It may. On my lips, I lost it. It's on the floor somewhere. But it's one of the sugar lip balms from Fresh. It's in that berry color. It's very pretty. So I am going to have to take a selfie or two. But I've been using the Origins Mushroom lotion that I got in my Sephora haul. I think my eye looked, with that rose shade on the transition, kind of turned a little smoky. And I'm good with all this. Yeah, I think that looks good. But I've been using that Origins Mega Mushroom lotion. Excuse me while I back up here. And this is just the berry shade. It's got quite a bit of color and feels really great on the lips. It's just a sample. Feels really great. So I'm kind of boring in a lot of the products that I use, but I use the Becca under eye correcting first, and sometimes only product under my eyes. I like it. It really does brighten up. It adds, you know, when you have dry under eyes or aging under eyes, there's a couple things you want to do, and you want to keep it bright. Oh, touched my lashes there. You want to keep it bright under there and, you know, hydrated looking. So sometimes, like I think today, I think that's going to be it. One of the the concealer I think I'm trying to use is this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. And I just got, I don't know, just, there's nothing major to cover. But I'm going to just use that and bounce it around. I've been having quite a bit of problems with my neck lately. Well, puppy scratched me, had a big breakout, healing I guess, a little breakout, and then I felt like a rash coming on again. Alright, so that's that. I don't know what the rashing is. Happy it's not on my face. Happy it's not on my face. Alright. Becca. What is this? Hydra Mist setting powder. So, when I first got it in the spring, summer, I kind of saved it for summer for some cooling effect. It did that. It's a pretty matte powder as well. It's nice to use with this foundation because it is so luminous, and I did avoid my cheek area. But it's not my favorite. That cooling has definitely gone away, as others have said. Under my eyes, I'm going to use the diffuse light from Hourglass because that won't take away the brightness under there, and it's just a tiny bit that I use. But yeah, I would never buy it again. The cooling effect was okay. There used to be a powder from, I believe it was Prescriptives, about 20 years ago, that was like that and much better. The cooling didn't go away with that. Prescriptives was a great brand. Okay, so at the time I didn't use liquid foundations, but I remember my counter having, like, they would blend your shade for you, which would have been fantastic. It Cosmetics. You can see pan, and there's actually a little pinhole there. So eventually that will get used. Pull this out real quick. I'm going to use a bronzer from this. This is either the 1 or the 2 of the Ambient Lighting Edit palettes. I can't remember. And I actually looked it up online. Couldn't find anything. I'm going to use this bronzer. I did use these blushes the other day. I keep telling myself I'm going to bring out the contour again. And I should. I kind of want, I don't know. So in the center of the face, I always use this powder here, the first one. I think it brings a lot of light to the center of the face. And let's see. Right. 3 of the single ambient blushes. And this is the one I'm going to look for. This is actually the more fuchsia one. I feel like I got a lot of fuchsia on that brush. I don't know, these brushes I don't feel pull off. But this brush, I want to show you how I use it. I kind of take it mostly on this round part here. And just kind of blend it back. I love the glow these blushes give you. I think they give you much more of a glow than, for instance, the Mood Ambient Lighting, whatever that's called. But if you do, maybe feel like it's a little too much fuchsia, just a little bit of that original powder, blend it out. I think that's great. Favorite highlighter in the world, the Metallic Strobe Lighting palette. I guess we'll go with pink, which is always my favorite. Start a little bit on that apple of the cheek. I don't know, I feel like I got a little light powder in my eyes. Oh, didn't want to put that back yet. Pink as well in the inner corner of my eye. Because always. That'll mesh in with that pearl shade really well. And if you want to stick around, I'll do my brows as well. Still doing kind of like the 3-step routine, which seems like a lot. But you see my brows, there's not a lot there. I even dye them when I dye my hair, that, you know, the deeper color. And it lasts for a while. I like it. You know, a few days. It doesn't even last probably a week. I don't try to do too much with them because I don't think there's too much to do with them. But I kind of I lightly kind of stroke line the bottom, and I kind of stroke line the top too, just kind of give them some evenness. My left brow has a little hole in it. So I don't do a whole lot. I try to just do quick strokes, and I always, I think brushing through is extremely important. Love, I can't say enough about the Stroke of Beauty dual tone eyebrow pencil. It's available HSN, Evine. It used to be HSN and then it moved to Evine. Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder, light shade on the inner portion. Again, kind of the same technique. This will help darken it. This is a taupe shade now in the outer half. But I also feel that it could get a little bit messy, and it does sometimes. So here I just take a Q-tip, kind of make sure the ends are cleaned up so it doesn't get, you know, like that, I don't know, like chalky appearance, I guess. And then this Tarte Double Duty Beauty Busy Gal Brows. I think it's got a bit of a fiber to it, but not a lot. Not as much as the Benefit. But I don't know, I like it. I like it a lot. Just something, I feel like it adds a finishing touch. I'm going to keep that powder in. This is in taupe as well. All three products are in taupe. Anybody obsessed? Please don't say you hate. But like, you know, the England princesses, the weddings that have been happening, the babies. I loved, you know, I loved it that Prince William married his college sweetheart. I think that was fantastic. You know, I don't know, they didn't really like play it off that Harry's girlfriends in the past were college sweethearts. I know one was a lawyer. But you know, he married an American, and she's, you know, not only an American, an actress, not very well known, I wouldn't say, you know, before this. If you watched the show, you of course probably loved her. I did not watch the show, so I didn't know really who she was. I think I had seen her like on Rachel Ray in the past. So cute girl. And I find it very interesting that, you know, she was divorced. She is mixed race. She is very close with her mother. And I don't know. I find it very interesting. You know, I think we, if I could say that, are from a generation in America where we are, you know, I was 6th grade or something when Princess Diana got married, and I thought that was very cool. Now my daughters, not interested at all. Have no idea who they are, really. You know, I would say at all. But I think it's pretty interesting, and you know, pretty fantastic for the world that everyone is accepting of you no matter what you are. Now, of course, he couldn't marry a lesbian, mixed race, divorced American actress, but he married someone who is very much for the rights of people. Her, me, you, children. She, you know, she wants to help people, and she's in a great position to do so now. You know, people who, because of circumstances, are now a little bit less fortunate because their apartment building burned down. Children who are born into less fortunate circumstances. The elderly, you know, all of us, I think she hopes for the best for us. And I think she will do things to ensure that. And then, you know, Kate and William and Harry have been very outspoken for the mental health community, which I think they've all probably dealt with. You know, William and Harry have been very outspoken about that, and I'm sure Kate, you know, being married to William has, you know, had to deal with that. Those young people, although they're in their 30s now, can you imagine? So your mother dies when you're very young. Everyone in the world really loved her. You are shown in public grieving. Tough. And then your dad says, you know, leave my kids alone. Okay? Leave my kids alone. Don't. So they go to school, they do a couple appearances, they're in the army, get a couple pictures, military, I should say. And then they're ready to get married, and they're forced back out into this situation that they really haven't been in a good portion of their life. They probably remember the photographers when they were little, and then they were able to seclude themselves a bit, less than the rest of us, but a bit. And then they decide to get married, and they're kind of forced back out into this life that maybe, you know, they certainly didn't ask for, but maybe they, you know, don't exactly know how to deal with. So I think they're all doing their best in a way that they can, you know. So I don't know. I don't even know if any of that makes sense, but I follow a lot of those accounts on Instagram, and that's kind of my take on it really quickly. So thanks for joining me again. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. I'd love it if you'd comment below, and I'll see you very soon. Oops, wrong button, guys.